and see what you guys are saying in the chat. So down to the bottom right hand corner from AxiomAcer. I don't think this guy's come out so far this season and not taken a victory, apart from maybe in the first series they played against Root. I think, maybe, perhaps, not 100% sure. In the bottom right hand corner of the map from AxiomAcer. Hard. And in the upper left hand corner of the map, our Red Terran. If Terran buildings looked like this, God, I would be happy. Can you imagine? If I was a Terran, if I could play Terran and have Storm and Colossi, I'd be so happy. Right, in the upper left hand corner of the map, our Red Protoss player, it is Psionic, here representing Team Baguette, the French Alliance. DNA Singularity saying he's doing pretty good, just chilling. Glad you're enjoying this. Well, I'm going to assume you're enjoying because you're still here. So thanks for stopping by. Griffin37 saying great games. Hello, Pooley informed as well. He was talking a little bit about Showtime and WCS. His PvZ against King was cool, man. The that match where he played, I think it's the one you're talking about, where he played with the, you know, he opened with a lot of Phoenix, and he played this really delicate style. And you know, I was watching him, like, the thing is, like, we don't see it used so much because it is so delicate, because you open with kind of charge and archons, but you don't have Colossi, so you really have to kind of dance around the Zerg and position yourself perfectly so that you're always threatening him and always moving in at any opportunity you can create, but you never actually really take a fight unless you can definitely win, because you and generally that's a fight you know generally you can't actually win the fights because the army you have isn't the best for fighting. It's best for fighting really small battles and catching your opponent off guard, and it's really mobile, I think. It's a really weird composition, right? It takes I haven't really seen enough of it to analyze it properly, but it's definitely really cool. But the way he played it was just great. He always had his army positioned so well, and he was always threatening Kane, and you know, then he finally started transitioning to Colossi, and by the time Kane finally got aggressive himself, there's four Colossi up or more. So it was really well played, and it was really fun to watch as well. So I really enjoyed it. That was definitely fun. Have I ever seen the movie Baller Blocking? No, I have not ever seen the movie Baller Blocking. Is it a good movie? I've honestly not even heard of it before. There's Hart here with a Reaper opening. Sees that there's a pylon on his natural, and we'll just build his command center on high ground instead, which is, I guess, kind of nice for 25 minerals. We'll delay the command center from building SCV for like 10 or so seconds while it flies over here. I guess, maybe, potentially worthwhile. As we have a proxy going to be coming up here from Psionic. In the bottom left hand side of the map, popping down that pylon. As back at home, he has got double gas. So I'm kind of expecting to see him be aggressive here. No real surprises about this. Adds on another pylon as well, a little bit earlier than he really needs, probably because he knows this Reaper's going to scout him. And he doesn't want him to be too suspicious of proxies, I guess. So we'll see how this goes as this pro going to start moving forward here, get a little bit of a scout, and the Stargate has been dropped at that proxy pylon. So moving forward here, this Reaper will just bypass that Stalker and we'll get into the main. We'll see double gas has already seen no natural. So now's the kind of real moment of, can he figure this out? And we'll be able to pick up a probe kill here perhaps, maybe, no, not quite. Turned away by the Stalker, but we'll get out of there. And I guess he didn't really see too much to worry him. He didn't even see a second gas, so all he saw was a lack of a natural expansion, and that may be a little bit worrying, but maybe not kind of like, oh god, I'm in a lot of trouble worrying. Hart deciding to continue gas mining. He has gone into his own factory. He's got a mine on the way out, which will help him against this early Oracle. And some Marines being produced as well. That Oracle is now being made from that proxy Stargate down here in the lower left-hand side of Deadwing. And we'll see what comes of this in the very near future. A Reaper popping back in, trying to get a little bit more information, but nothing really to be seen here just yet. I guess he sees this gateway in the back. So yeah, he just really he sees no tech, and that's kind of quite important, I suppose, because now you can start to maybe think that something's out on the map. Although it doesn't really seem to be that way. He seems to just be thinking this is cool. He's got some Marines in the mineral line, and with the Marines in the mineral line, he's just going to take his mine to the natural and start landing over here, and wow, poor Oracle is going to... No, are you kidding me? That's disgusting. He was literally in the circle of the Oracle fighting range, and he still didn't die. Amazing. So first Oracle actually doing a great job. 2 Marines, or 3 Marines, so I think 2 Marines and maybe a worker. There we go. 2 Marines and a worker is killed by that first Oracle. Second Oracle on the way, now a third. So Psionic is really committing to this heavy aggression from the Stargate. And going to be interesting to see if he can really make this work. See what his follow-up is going to be, I guess, more than anything. He's going to be looking to at least bust the front, I suppose. I guess we'll see what happens as time goes on. But he has to be careful. Again, those mines are active and they are around. And there is one hidden here under this SCV and mule right now. So he has to be really careful with where he flies. He's going to try and pick off another Marine and he gets it. And you can see he's actually being very cautious. And he actually knows he's got enough firepower there on the Oracle to fight that. And then the mine comes in. And I think he saw it just at the last moment there, which is a little bit unfortunate. As the next Oracle starting to move forward. But again, there is another Oracle on the map, not sure where, but it's somewhere. And there's actually enough anti-air right now. As they're coming in, he's going to kill off a couple of these fresh mules. And deny a lot of this economy. Another mine going to be targeted. Not quite going down in time though. As we have a mine drop over on the other side of the map from Hog. Going to look to try and do some damage himself. And Psionic doesn't pay attention. That Widow Mine picks up 3 worker kills. As I'm still slightly intrigued as to where the other Oracle is. There it is, bringing in some detection now to come in and clean up this Widow Mine. So only 3 kills on that Widow Mine. And the Oracle over here will probably think twice about going into this natural again with those mines around. And there's plenty of defense in the main base as well. So not too much that can really be done here by Psionic. A couple of extra barracks being added on and more mines continue to be built. So it looks as though Hog can continue dropping here. He actually managed to save this mine from this natural, which is actually very impressive. So keeping that mine alive and we'll keep on being aggressive if more mine drops to come. And again, this Oracle just sitting defensively right now. Well, not defensively, but just sitting passively. This one to the top side of the map is sitting rather defensively just around the main base, just in case there's anything around. As this medevac comes back in, drops that mine back off, but it does not get the chance to burrow. The mine goes down, and Psionic going to hold on here. So both these guys are going to start heading in towards the mid-game. Upgrades starting for both players on the engineering bay, on the forge. We've got the robo facility down for Psionic. And yes, I mean, Stimpak's starting up. We've got a couple of cannons on the way as well. Very even game so far as this Oracle continues to do a little bit more damage, getting some more worker kills and a couple of Marines as well. So coming in 10 kills in total on it, and again, these Oracles have actually been surprisingly effective so far. And at this point in the game, Psionic finds himself 10 workers up. As if another mine drop does load up and start to head across the map. So again, just Hawk going to try and continue doing damage, keep his opponent busy, while he sets up to a point where he can start being aggressive with his bio units. This Oracle going to fly around, and no use for that at home right now because cannons have been added on. Got that Robo Bay added on as well, so Psionic continue to try and tech here because of course in the mid game he is going to want some kind of splash damage, and Colossi is generally the way to go, especially if off of a mine opening. You're never going to stand a chance if you try and open Templar. It just doesn't work out against mines. So so yeah, this Oracle actually drops a revelation on a medevac, which is really nice because if you can gain some map vision with on the medevacs, it really denies drops and the ability for the Terran to kind of move around. And this Oracle picking up 4 kills here and moves away. Really nice as this army is moving forwards though for hard. So he has to make sure Psionic he has to make sure he can defend this right now. But things are looking great for him. Upgrades are equal. He's ahead in workers. I guess by the time you factor in the mules, the economy is fairly even. And he actually catches a Marauder here as well, but has to be so careful of those mines. If we check the income tab, you can see he's actually just a little bit behind in economy on the income for the Terran. Kind of goes up and down as the mules are dropped though. So again, economy is very even. Whoa, where did we just see damage being done? Ah, there's murder mine in the main. Wow, sorry guys, I missed it. So some workers being killed then. He just went from kind of like a 10-ish worker lead to a 0 worker lead. So so yeah, everything I was just saying about the income is just being completely reset. So sorry for missing that as we see Stim forwards here. I'm going to try and do a little bit of damage. Force fields will be used to fend this away. Front overcharge now popped as well. There's more units continuing to come across the map here from Hart, just rallying these across. Plus 1 armor on the way for both players, and Hart finally starting up his own 3rd command center in position. Still a couple of Oracles out on the map, and they could come in and try and deny that 3rd right now, but a little bit too late. The turret is up and ready to defend from such threats. So Hart just going to move back, and this Oracle's still just hanging around, not really able to get too much more done here. But again, just keeping map control, keeping a couple of units back. And there's that 3rd base coming down now for Psionic. So 3rd base coming on up. This Oracle is actually going to find a couple of units crossing the map. Might be able to pick off a Marine or 2. And may just run straight into the army and drops the revelation. So again, keeping eyes on this army. And, because he has these Oracles being consistently active, these observers, he doesn't need many observers. 3 observers is a fair few. It gives good vision. But if you combine it with the Oracles right now, he has kind of vision of everything right now. So he really shouldn't be caught off guard by anything at all in this game, which is great, because your biggest fear as a Protoss player in the early stages of a game is going to be, or in the mid game, is going to be Terran drops, pulling your army apart, because your army works best as a whole unit. It's very hard to split it effectively, because this Oracle picks up another couple kills. It's very hard to split it effectively, so drops are kind of the really scary thing here. Psionic, if you was paying attention, probably did see these medevacs loading up, but it's very hard to keep your eye on top of this army all the time, so may not have seen it, but he does have units positioned. The Stalkers are in the main base here. There's a couple of Colossi out front, and this should be enough to kind of fend away Hart's initial army, which is beginning to move forward. So he actually stems forward, and he's a little bit out of position as these units actually going to drop off at the third base. So now these Stalkers probably need to blink down to help this out, as the Zealots continue to come in. Colossi do fend this away, and Gasshal was killed though, so Hart doing a good job of this multitasking right now, as these Zealots getting destroyed, and without the Stalkers helping out, this multi-pronged aggression is doing quite a bit of damage. The Stalkers really need to kind of blink down here and just help out these Zealots. And finally, the Stalkers on the way over to help. Oh, does he not have Blink yet? Oh, right, okay. I'm just so used to Pros players opening Blink nowadays. He doesn't have Blink, so actually, with the lack of mobility on the Stalkers is pretty bad for him. But he finally gets them in position here. Now Hart is attacking with everything into the third. He's going to commit into this, or is he? Force fields do miss. His army's quite low on hit points, and a couple of mines coming in. A couple of Zealots will just be sent forwards to deal with these. And as those get dealt with, the rest of the army will move forwards and look to try and chase this back. Hard with a supply lead right now, and 2-2 on the way as well, so we'll get into an upgrade loot soon. He's going to look for a split into a concave and maybe try and fight this, but very smartly, I feel. Psionic backs off, realizing he probably cannot fight that out in the open. So yeah, I mean, Hart just continue to rally across the map here, and he will just continue to look for opportunities to do damage, and opportunities such as dropping 4 medevacs of units into your opponent's main base is definitely one way to find yourself in an advantage. Blink's about to finish though, so as Blink finishes, this becomes very scary. He's about to fly through the path of an observer as well, and if he flies through this observer's path, he's going to have to be very, very cautious as to where the units actually are. So we already see these Stalkers starting to move in towards that main base. Blink is ready. Is he going to get there in time? Scan coming down, and he starts to see the army moving backwards. And Psionic second guessing himself. I feel okay. No, he's not. He's warping in. And he's got 2 Colossi as well, so he should be able to deal with this. As at the same time, a push towards the natural expansion, and it looks as though Hart is going to try and get this natural expansion kill. And at the same time, the main base continue to do damage. Lifts up in the medevacs though, forced away, but he kills the natural nexus, and that is a big victory here. As blinking forwards, Psionic going to try and pick off a few of these units, and Hart just really pulling him from left to right now. And I mean, he needs to keep his opponent busy, because he's not investing in Vikings. There's 4 Colossi on the field, but not a single Viking, and that means he's really relying on just keeping the Protoss player back, stopping him from taking a straight up fight, because in a straight up fight, this Protoss army is pretty darn good. Colossi, a lot of splash damage and nothing to deal with them. It's going to be a very one-sided fight if there is a straight up fight from the Terran player. So what Hart needs to do is keep his opponent busy, keep his opponent guessing, keep medevacs at the back of his opponent's main base, always threatening to come in here and kill that main base nexus, just as this natural has been killed. Units moving through the middle of the map once again here. Stalkers, a lot of units here in the middle though, and could maybe decide to try and fight this, but again, there's a lot of units back in his main base, but I guess there's a lot of units for Hard over here as well, as he starts to fly along the left side, and looks as though Psionic not quite spotting that to take advantage. This nexus still not being rebuilt, and we'll send everything onto this third base, which will heavily oversaturate it here. It's Hard still happily mining off of 3 bases with a 4th command center on the way up right now. Upgrade lead as well for him, as he has 2-2 against just the 2-1, and 3-3 on the way against just the +3 attack in the production tab. 4 Vikings being made at a time, so finally starting to switch out of this kind of very aggressive drop play and into an army composition which can actually straight up take on this army of his opponent. There's these medevacs. One of them goes down, and that was a full one, so that's a big loss for Hard. 10 supply gone for nothing. But at the same time, I guess he needs to free up a little bit of supply if he wants to keep on building Vikings. So everything just going to rejoin here, and just sitting in this concave so hard for the Protoss player to come out and fight into this. You know, how do you ever fight into a concave of Terran? I mean, you shouldn't. And Hard's going to go for this right now, despite kind of running into the Protoss. And this is not meant to happen. As force fields come down, the force fields are pretty good. 1 Colossus is very low, and it will go down here. Only a couple of Vikings. As this army going to stay once again. The Colossi coming from the main base as well right now, and they're going to start attacking into this. And Hard, again, it feels as though this fight should definitely not be working right now, and I don't think it is, which is why he's starting to back away. It only worked initially because the Colossi, a couple of them were out of position in the main base still, and Hard took that chance to try and come in here. Revelation dropped on the army to kind of watch the follow-up here as these Stalkers can start picking off all of these medevacs, and the Colossi are going to continue taking down the rest of the army. The Vikings getting taken down very quickly as well, and Hard is starting to lose absolutely everything again in a straight-up fight. He did not have the composition to fight with, and we're seeing that right now as a blink forwards here should be able to pick off at least one more medevac, but no, the Stalkers stick behind a little bit too long, and they probably will just, okay, they still get one more before Hard makes it all the way back home. And, well, now what does Hard do? He's actually got a lot of command centers up, but is he able to actually hold on this army, hold off this army of his opponent, which is moving forwards right now? 3-3 about to finish for him. Those upgrades definitely going to help, as Psionic is going to be able to dodge that first EMP, which drops here. SCVs being pulled, and a few SCVs will start to fall in this fight. Still no, oh sorry, the natural nexus is up, but still no mining on the natural from Psionic, which is definitely probably a bit of a mistake considering he's so oversaturated here, and he does now find the opportunity to send some workers over to start mining there again. He is still down in supply, so despite that fight going great for him, and you can see, again, resources lost, looking favourable for the pros player, but he's just been, you know, he hasn't had as good of an economy as Hard, so Hard has been able to afford trading a little bit worse. Blink forward from the Stalkers denied by the lack of high ground vision here, and Psionic does take a little bit of a supply lead here. It's a very even game at this point, I guess, but a lack of upgrades for Psionic will not be helping him out. The lack of those armor upgrades starts to research Storm, so looking for a tech switch out of just the pure Colossus. And I mean, Ghosts are already up for Hard, so he's not going to be too worried about that tech switch. He's going to be more than prepared for it, as his Viking count looking pretty strong as well right now, 9 in total on the field. And some Stalkers just going to want to blink away from this fight. Don't want to lose any Stalkers unnecessarily. He loses one, and you will lose this pylon as well. The Stargate's still set up from earlier in this game, and this army just sitting on this watchtower for now. Hard just going to take a few moments before he decides to fight once again here. Continue to build up his Viking count. Only Marauders in production alongside those Vikings, as well as a planetary fortress on this 5th base as well. Again, Hard built so many command centers earlier, just starting to float them out now, and was able to, you know, he could afford losing a few of those workers, which he did before, as you know, because he's got an extra orbital up as well, so he's still looking good. As has this been spotted? Okay, so he's seen the Stargate from earlier. He's going to come in here now and take that down, get rid of the pylon as well. Just force another pylon out of Psionic. Not the biggest of issues, but not the worst in the world. And the real problem for Psionic, I guess, as this game goes on, is the lack of extra economy for him. You know, we're 24 minutes into the game, so the main base mined out, the natural not mined out because it was killed, but the 3rd base, I guess the 3rd base is quite healthy as well, but you know, on 57 workers, he's probably not mining as great as he could do. So that 4th base is starting to come up, but it's very late. So again, the economy not great for Psionic, but with another good fight like previously, he could definitely make something happen. He's got Storm this time around, but there's EMPs in the fight this time, and a lot more Vikings for Hard. And scans continue to come down, not just on the army, but on top of his own army, just to see if there's any observers around to try and deny vision. And again, just looking for observers to make sure he doesn't see these ghosts approaching. And now he's going to be able to scan. He's going to be able to try and take down these, well, try and get some EMPs. And the EMPs do kind of miss, but the Vikings coming forwards, and they're going to get a lot of damage done. Only one Colossus remaining. The Storms are good, but the Vikings, they do their job. And now Storming on more his own Zealots than anything else, as these Zealots moving forwards here. The Storms continue to hit, but Hart is continuously kiting backwards, and again, he just seems to not quite be hitting the Storms exactly where he needs them, as he's going to continue trying to push this away. Again, a Storm just on the front edge of the army. He needs to try and hit it behind, so Hart just can't, you know, so Hart can't keep running. And the supply is very even though, again, as some catching some Marauders to the left-hand side, and that's a nice little pick off there for Psionic, but now these 3 medevacs are going to come in, try and kill this 4th base, and that's a 4th base which Psionic cannot afford to lose. Again, his economy is hurt, and his main base is mined out, his natural and 3rd will be soon to follow, and without a 4th base, he's going to start running out of steam. He has a few sent across the map to counterattack. This is pretty cool, but he actually starts to pull those back, despite the ability to maybe kill a couple of ghosts there, so that's just a little bit of a shame. Maybe that was actually unintentional, these units being across the map, which in that case, he kind of looked out a little bit, but could have done more. Still equal supplies here as we hit the 26-minute mark in this game, heading towards 27. The half-hour mark is looming. And one hell of a game we have between these two teams right now, as we have a Nexus coming up once again, trying to establish his 4th, but with 5 bases mining, Hart is just happy to keep trading. You know, as long as he doesn't take a drastically awful fight, he's going to be fine, just keep on trading. I mean, in that last fight, he took down every single Colossus. Brilliant. You know, if you reset the Colossus count, you're in a fantastic position because, you know, you can afford to lose your Vikings, you know, he hit some, you know, his EMPs actually kind of missed a bit, but the storms were missing as well from Psionic. I feel as though if he hit some of the storms a little bit better, we could have maybe seen him move forward and perhaps end the game. Two Colossi are out, and there's no Vikings in this army at the front here, as this trio of medevacs still set to load up and maybe move in towards this 4th base once again, as he does see exactly where the army is of his opponent. And starting to move forwards with that. Those medevacs have loaded up, but let's keep an eye on this right now because he's picking off a Marauder. Doesn't quite get the medevac, but will continue to chase. But now the medevacs come in, and Psionic has to make a decision. Does he keep pushing forwards, or does he turn around and go and try and defend? It looks as though he's going to try and keep pushing forwards. A scan here, but blinking forwards. Psionic going to try and keep doing whatever he can. This 4th base about to go down once again. Nothing here to defend it. Doesn't get the cancel off, but he's picking off a lot. But all of a sudden the ghosts stop moving forwards. There's no observer, and these ghosts are going to start picking off the temper. EMP's landed on the army as well, so it's a little bit weaker than it should be. There's a lot of Templar here, and these ghosts, they're running out of energy as well, so that's going to be an expensive loss once these go down. But there's still a lot of units here as well, and Colossus, which just comes out of production, is going to get caught off guard, and there's still nothing to really defend this 3rd base right now, and Psionic is forced to turn away. I guess he couldn't really fight up into this, but now he's going to lose his 3rd base anyways, and this has been unfortunate. He really had opportunities in this game, but now he's really out of economy. Hart has a bank behind this as well, so all he has to do is, again, take a fight which is half reasonable, and he's going to be able to remax, and his opponent is not blinking forwards here. Psionic going to be able to take down these medevacs, but that just gives Hart even more time to keep building up a bank, rebuild his ghost count as well. He's going to be happy that his opponent's chasing medevacs, and you know, even kill them off. He won't mind that for the time it buys him, and he knows that this is going to be an all-in push now from the Protoss player. He knows there's no economy left for the Protoss, and he knows that it's now or never, do or die, as moving forward as our Protoss player going to look for an opportunity. Army supplies are even, but their upgrade advantage still lies with the Terran. 3-3 against 3-1. And the probes are being pulled as well, because again, this is really all in. But the Vikings move forward, and they find the one Colossus, or there's a second one, but it's a little bit far away as EMPs are starting to land. There's a couple of Templar in the front, and huge storms on the army. And this is maybe Psionic's opportunity. This isn't exactly the sort of fight he did need. Probes are continuing to move forwards as well. Zealots are all over the place, and he's starting to chase down a very heavily damaged Bio Force. Medevacs are going down as well. Is he going to make this happen? 90 army supply to 50 right now. Continue to move forward, and maybe it's time to just turn away from this and you know, leave those units alone, as he needs to get into the production. He needs to shut down Hart from making any more units right now. You know, he's not getting anything more himself, so he has to go and stop his opponent right now and put an end to this. These units are going to start coming back, but again, they're heavily damaged. And SCV's being pulled here. They're probably going to go down very quickly. And 93 army supply to 71. 3-3 for the Terran against 3-1 for the Protoss. And moving forwards here, what is on the high ground? Some Vikings, a couple of EMPs available. The threat of a flank is kind of scary, but there's no real option. He just has to go up this, but going up the ramp. The Vikings pick off the last Colossus, and the EMPs were pretty good so far, and the army not really fighting as much as he would like, as now the Zealots start to charge forward, but units have been left behind to fight against barracks, while Hart gets into a really nice choke point here, and that's going to help him out a lot. Storms behind and gets a lot of those units which were heavily damaged before. 53 supply to 87, but the army supply now in favour of Hart. Another EMP comes out of absolutely nowhere, and one of the Archons goes down, and Vikings are landing as well. Every little bit of DPS counts right now. Another storm from behind on the units coming in from behind, but there's just not enough left. GG. And with 65 supply left,